a really fun night at Anderson Speedway Saturday.
It was great. It was fun.
It was our Paint the Night Pink night for breast cancer awareness with the Community Hospital and United UAW Motorsports and Med Express and several others, and we just had a blast, and we raised a bunch of money. Don't have the final totals yet.
Still tallying it up yet, aren't
Haven't talked to Danny at UAW, but last year we raised over $20,000, and I don't see why it's not going to be close to the same this year.
Wow, they had a silent auction with something new this year.
There was a lot of neat stuff on there.
I seen that.
I got outbid on everything I bid on, and I went back 3 or 4 times.
That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
I was bidding on Sarah Fisher had donated her pink driving suit. Mario Andretti had donated an autographed bottle of his wine.
Oh, wow.
He's got a vineyard, evidently. And, the weekend at French Lick, which is really a cool place in the West Baden Motel.
You and Brenda have been there. He said it's great.
And missed them all. But it was a great night. A lot of pink. If you weren't in pink Saturday night, you weren't with it.
Yeah. I had a little bit of pink on that shirt that I had on, so I had my pink on.
It.
Well, everybody could see yours.
You think?
I think so.
Leah Campbell, who we talked to last week from Community Hospital, is a great friend, not only mine, but of the Speedway. And she nabbed me, and she said, "You need pink hair." What the heck?
You walked up to that flag stand there, and I see that, and I thought, I cannot take this guy serious now. Pink hair and a pink mustache.
Pretty cool.
It was. They did a good job with it.
And then on top of it all, we had Zumba on the racetrack, and I think Amy said we had like 70 people signed up to do that.
I missed that part.
And that raised more money for American Cancer Society. So
it was a lot of fun.
Really neat. And then we decided we'd race.
We had some good races.
And had good races, good car counts.
Yes.
I mean, since the seasons have ended at most of the racetracks, our car counts have been great. Even when we had to reschedule week before last on Sunday, our car counts were great. And I look for the same thing to happen this weekend as we run
Weather's looking great.
Triple hundreds. Weather's looking good. We're liable to have a full house at Speedway Saturday night. But I know we're going. I'm almost positive we're going to have a bunch of cars because we were at Winchester Sunday, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But a lot of the drivers that were over there have said that they're coming.
Yes.
So, and I'm already getting calls for a turkey bash. So
that's just very encouraging, isn't it?
It's almost like the season's not going to end, and we're going to be right back into the new one. So let's just skip winter.
I'm ready. I'm with you on that.
Let's talk about the races now. I'm going to have to depend on you a lot on this.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy.
Thanks.
Am I ever sweating? But we don't have internet, so I don't have the results here in front of me. But we start out with
USSA Sprints. Oh, no, the Kenyon Midgets.
We start out with the Mel Kenyon Midgets because it was their championship night. And the race, and there was like a 4-person battle for the lead, and I know Jessica Bean was in it, and she was involved in a
very first lap there. She cut a right rear tire going in turn 3, and that ended her night in the feature. But the winner of the race himself, since we don't have the rundown, was I want to say his first name was Kyle. The last name was O'Gara. Won the feature, but I believe it was Cole Fair that is their champion for the Kenyon Midget Series.
Yep, which was pretty cool. Tell us a little bit about the race.
Racing was very good. I think we just had one caution, which was Jessica. The rest of it was green flag racing. Kyle got in the lead there. He did some battle with some other of the other drivers there. Like I said, with no listing here, I can't remember who all they were. But once he got out there, he took command and led to the finish there and took the race.
Well, congratulations to Cole, who will be on the podium at the USSA banquet November the 8th in Indianapolis. Same night as ours.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. And then we had 16 sprint cars, which was pretty cool for this late in the season on sprint cars.
We did.
Good field of cars. Some new ones that we hadn't seen before, and some new ones that now are probably hooked for the Payless Little 500 next year.
I talked to him during our break between qualifying and then the racing, and talked to a couple of new guys, and a couple of them told me they're here to get themselves acclimated to the track for the Little 500.
Isn't that cool? But it was a good race. I know we had an early, and I didn't even realize till I was at Winchester Sunday that everybody kept saying, I hear you had a sprint car flip. Well, I was actually in the novelty stand. I heard Ed go red, and then I go up to behind the figure 8 flag stand, look, and all the cars are sitting on their wheels, and the guys were still in. Nobody was hurt, so I didn't think nothing of it, but I guess we had a flip.
Yeah, we had one coming off turn 4, Chris Neuenschwanger, if I'm saying that right. Kind of got a little aggressive with Brad Armstrong, who was right in front of him in the 99 car, and coming out of turn 4, he turned Brad around, which kind of rolled Brad up towards the wall coming down the front stretch. Chris went over the top of him, and down the front stretch he came, but he did land back on his wheels and down at the bottom there, and came out of the car just fine. So
everybody was great.
Everybody was fine.
The race from then on out, it was a 50-lap feature, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a 50-lap feature, and Brian Gerster, who I'm not sure if he had fast time or not. I can't remember. When they qualified, though, with the track kind of cooling off, the times weren't like they usually are for Little 5. We had a couple in the 11s of them, but most of them were in the low 12s, which kind of tells you that the track was just a little slick for them because it was cooling down. But Brian Gerster showed him the way around, and he ended up winning the 50-lap feature.
Brian's had a fast car, especially his wing car,
yes,
the last couple of years. I think he's won the points in the Must-See Racing Series 2 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yes.
And Brian is just one of those great guys. We got to get him on this show. He's just one of those great guys, and it was an emotional victory for him too. I talked to him and his wife back in the pits, and his wife was actually this past year has become a breast cancer survivor. So they've been through it, and they knew what was going on. He said, when I seen you were doing this, I want to make sure I raced. And he says this pink trophy, she's actually going to let me put it in the living room at least for a little while. So that's pretty cool. I mean, he was really emotional about it, and that just made it all that much more sweet.
Sure did. And those were nice-looking trophies, too, with the ribbon and everything on. Great trophies.
So that ended our open wheel.
It did.
I'm not sure who won the points for USSA the sprint cars.
Daggone it.
Yep, daggone it. Yes. I didn't remember him being entered, but old daggone it got it this year.
He was on the front stretch, though, because I was told that he was the champion, but I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry, without it not being up on the screen. If I'd see the name, I would know, but I can't remember offhand.
We also had mini cups. We had quite a few of those there, and I didn't get to see any of those races. Those are usually pretty exciting.
We had a gentleman, and I can't remember his name, Rick, who won the heat race. He won an older gentleman. He's not like
was it
the
Steve
kids.
Naples, babe? Possibly.
It was in the 13 car, so that might have been the case. I don't know if he'd ever been there before, but I told him, I said, is this thing running on jet fuel or what? Because, I mean, he was booking around that track. But the feature was a different story. He got beat by a 12-year-old girl.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Amanda, I want to say her last name was Hahn. Amanda Hahn. I remember the first name, and I didn't know there was a girl in until she popped out of the top there, and I go, oh, my gosh. And when Amy interviewed her and said she was only 12, and she was in front of this guy who, like I told you, was running so fast in the heat race there, I didn't think anybody was going to catch him in the feature, and she beat him.
Well, that's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
Well, congratulations to her. The mini cups are going to be back again next season. It's always neat to have them at the track 2 or 3 times. It's kind of like Indy 500 for them.
They enjoy it. I talked back. I don't know the lady's name that runs it back there, but I talked to her, and she goes, "We're so excited to come back next year. We're ready." So
that's
great bunch of people.
And then we finished out the night with Outlaw Figure Eights.
Another great race. The battle for the whole night was between Jesse Tunney. He was running the 94 car that's usually ran by Fred Bear, and Jesse was in it. Jacob Garrigus and Ben Tunney. Those were the three that battled at the front most of the night, and I'm telling you, it was a close battle. And when they came for the checkered, it was side by side coming for the checkered. Had it not been for Chris Green, a slower car that was right in front of us, they'd come for the checkered. I'm not so sure it wouldn't have been a dead heat. I mean, that was that close.
Well, I know I was down on the track when Jacob Garrigus was practicing, and that kid was flying. And he's just a kid. I mean, he was flying in the car. I don't even know that he was lifted. I've never seen one go that fast. And then when he qualified, set a new track record, 16.005. And they told me during practice they had him clocked under 16 seconds.
Oh my gosh,
that's fast.
It is fast. And in fact, during the heat races, one of the practice sessions, the car wasn't quite dialed in, and he couldn't make the turn, so he shot out the gate there, which was great that he shot up perfectly through that gate. So then he got the car dialed in, and he was fine the rest of the night.
And I'm not sure who won the WOFS points for the season.
Jesse Tunney won the feature Saturday night, and Mike Hadley Jr. was their champion. Yeah, and Mike came in. I think he was in fourth in that race Saturday night. So loves the track. Loves the track.
A lot of our familiar drivers were there. Mike Riddle and Sean Cullen was, and Bruce McFall was in the race. So that was pretty cool.
It was good. It was a good fun night.
Well, that wraps up the Paint the Night Pink at Anderson Speedway. We're going to do it again next year. The UAW Motorsports is already in, I'm sure, Community Hospital. I talked to Leah today at Rotary, and she was still beaming about how fun it was. So
I'm glad they had a ball.
We're going to look forward to that again next year. We do. And getting new ones every day, which is even pretty cool.
That's right.
Amy's put together a package this afternoon that is really big, and I'm almost certain it's a done deal, so that'll be neat to...
Wonderful.
Neat to talk about in the future. We'll have plenty of time during the winter to talk about that kind of stuff. But this Saturday night we have Triple 100s. It's become kind of an annual feature at the Speedway, one of our last races of the year. We actually have 3 left for the year, 2 left in this month, and then we got the Turkey Bash this Saturday after Thanksgiving. This week we got Triple 100s. We've got Street Stocks, Thunder Cars, and the Vors Compact Touring Series, and we're going to talk a lot about the Vors Compact Touring Series when we come back from break, and then also a lot about it for next year, because it's a great series,
great organization,
well established, very well run, and I'm looking forward to you folks getting to listen and meet over the airways Dan Redmond and Steve Vors, who is a big part of that series. It's really going to be neat. We're going to talk to Dan after the break, and it might be a good time to go ahead and do that now. We're going to talk when we come back. We're going to talk to Dan. We're going to talk about the Winchester 400. That was a great race. Had a fantastic finish. I mean, that was one of the best finishes that I've seen in that race, and also. I might get it on my pedestal just a bit. NASCAR came out with their penalties from last weekend.
Oh, I hadn't heard. Yes.
And it's pretty typical. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back. You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
When I was a boy, we had family pitch-in dinners on Sunday, so I knew on Saturdays Mom would be in the kitchen baking pies, and especially sugar cream pies. I will never forget pulling a chair up to the table, always turn the chair around back so I could perch on my knees while watching Mom take her fingers and flute the pie crust. You know, that little squiggly thing all the way around. And of course, after the pies were baked, we would beg and plead with Mom, only to have her put her foot down and say, nope, we were not going to get any pie until everybody came by tomorrow. But on Sunday at the family gathering, that first bite of pie was always worth the wait. Mom's a little older now, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy freshly made sugar cream pies together. Now, instead of Mom making them, I pick up a Wix sugar cream pie. They use simple, fresh ingredients because of Wix rigid freshness standards. The wholesomeness and taste of their pies is better than Mom's. But don't tell her I said that. Now you can pick up a Wix sugar cream pie at most of your local grocery stores. Just look for them in the frozen dessert aisle. I'm Brownie, and I can honestly say about Wix pies, you don't just eat them, you enjoy them.
Heart attack? Stroke? Serious injury. A sudden health crisis can happen to anyone, at any time. So when bad things happen, choose good people. St. Vincent Anderson Regional Hospital has the area's most advanced emergency care, with a state-designated Level 3 trauma center, an internationally accredited chest pain center for heart attack patients, and advanced certification for primary stroke care. We have all the resources to deliver the care you need for any serious or life-threatening emergency. St. Vincent Anderson Regional is the only emergency department in the area with an on-site helicopter. And our $27 million state-of-the-art surgery pavilion opens later this year. Bad things can happen to anyone. Thankfully, good people are ready to help. Choose emergency care from St. Vincent Anderson Regional, the spirit of caring. Visit stvincent.org/Anderson Regional to learn more.
Honey, stop! Oh my gosh, that's Diggity's back there.
You mean the new Diggity's Frozen Treat Factory?
I heard it's unbelievable. Everybody's talking about it. They have everything yummy.
Yeah, I heard they have ice cream, yogurt, custard, sorbet.
And gelato, plus fruit smoothies, and that's just the beginning.
I heard Diggity's has over 250 toppings, not 30 or 40 like those other places, and you can even get the candy to go separately.
We can eat outside on their huge patio by the fire, too.
Okay, let's see. Frozen yogurt, ice cream, custard, sorbet, and gelato with 250 toppings, or a plain old frozen yogurt shop with limited toppings?
Diggity's it is!
Diggity's wants to cater your event. Diggity's can set up at your event inside or out and provide delicious smoothies, frozen cappuccinos, candies, and frozen treats to your guests. Diggity's is perfect for weddings, company picnics, group outings, sporting events, festivals, you name it, just call Diggity's. 765-393-0033 today for more information.
MoFab Incorporated, where imagination is the only limitation. We serve residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal customers as your metals warehouse and fabrication center. We do all types of fabrication using the latest technology with unmatched speed, accuracy, and durability on any substrate. Our ornamental division handles all types of interior and exterior work, including rails, fences, gates, and more. So contact us at mofabbing.com to fabricate your dreams of tomorrow today.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests, and not this station.
How about a little Bob Seger to come back from break?
Just take those on!
I got that on 2 notes. Where were you at? We don't need your vocals. Heard those. We're back. Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Apologize for that, folks. Rick Dawson, Gary Moan, back in the special events studio talking about things going on at Anderson Speedway and around the area in racing. And we talked before we went to the break about the big weekend coming up with our 300s. And one of the divisions that's going to be running is the Vors Compact Touring Series, which I've been looking forward to this all season. We've usually reserved this end of the year race, 100-lap race, for our regular divisions. And I talked to Dan, and I just felt like this would be a better program because we could mingle both divisions together. And Dan's on the line with us now, live from Newcastle, Indiana, birthplace of Rick Dawson.
Oh, wow.
Dan, how are you doing this evening?
Life is good, Rick. Gary, thanks for having me on. It's a great night to be in Newcastle, and Saturday it's going to be a great night to be at Anderson Speedway.
That's right. And tonight's a great night if you're in Newcastle to have a Noble Roman's pizza, too.
What is that? Oh, yes. Forgot about that. Sorry about that, Dan.
Hey, that's okay. You come to Newcastle, you can get Noble Roman's pizza. You go to Anderson Speedway, and you can get Diggity's and Wick's pies on Saturday. So, I mean, life is good.
Yes, you're right.
You got it, Dan. Well, Dan, I'm not exactly sure what your position is with the organization, but you and Steve have created a very great organization for racing. And tell us a little bit about how you got involved in it, and then tell the fans what they've got to look forward to this Saturday night.
Okay, well, Vors Compact Touring Series is an offshoot from what started out as CRA's Compact Division, and when CRA got the opportunity to create the JEGS Crate Late Model Series, that gave them 5 divisions, and they're like, guys, we just can't do this justice. They came to Steve Vore and asked Steve Vore if he wanted to have his own compact series, since he was the sponsor of the series and he raced compacts. And Steve said, yeah, I want to do this for the drivers. And so Steve's vision has been from day one that we can take compacts and we can take professional drivers that we truly feel that have the talent that late model drivers and wing sprint car drivers do. They just may not have the sugar mama or sugar daddy behind them that they can go super late model racing or wing sprint car racing, but they can still put on great competitive racing, and we can do a traveling series. And so that was Steve's vision. And with great tracks like you and Kalamazoo, Michigan, Shady Bowl, DeGraft, Ohio, we go to that, it gives the guys a chance to spread their wings a little bit and showcase their talent on a somewhat limited budget.
You're such a professionally run organization. I mean, you have been able to figure out the delicate line between the drivers and the fans and the show and the promoters, and that's very tough to do. But I've in your shows that I've seen, I've not seen any major issues from the tower or in the pits, but yet I've seen some great racing. I mean, I remember back early in the season, 70 cars strong down at Raceway Park, and what a feature that was.
Yeah, we've got some tremendous drivers, and it's a group effort, and we've tried to make sure that the drivers understand that it is a group effort. And in this day and age of racing, everybody's got to start working together as a team, and that's what we've tried to do. Is because you know what, we can have 100 race cars strong, but if there's no fans coming to watch them, then there's not going to be any tracks left to go racing at. So we've got to take care of the fans and give them the good, exciting racing that they deserve, which I think we're doing, and in return be partners with racetracks so that it's a win-win for the fans and for the drivers and for the tracks, and that's what our vision is. And and we've had, like I said, the opportunity to work with you and partner, Rick, and it's done nothing but make it even more solid. And as long as we can keep conveying that message to the drivers, I think they will keep responding by putting on the great shows that they've been doing.
Well, it only goes to show that, I mean, the drivers don't want to go out there and win by themselves and have nobody to share it with. Right. It's kind of like, what was it in Love Story? Something about it's nothing if you got nobody to share it with, something like that.
But we're talking racing.
I always liked Ally McGraw.
I never figured you as a love story type of guy, Rick.
He's not.
but they, they know that what's neat about it is it's not about their ego. It's about they want to put on a show for the fans, and that's the neat part about it.
And I want to add to that. I see that there's been instilled in this series discipline, and the drivers have respect for each other.
Yes, that is utmost and paramount. We've got I think the greatest drivers out there, and I am so proud to be part of their organization, because we truly tell them every week, this is your series, and Steve Vore will be the first one to tell you, this is the driver's series. It's done for the drivers, but we have that philosophy that if you don't want to be part of a series that takes care of each other and shows each other respect, you can race hard on the track, and we want you to race hard. We expect you to race hard on the track, but there's a difference between racing hard and intentionally taking somebody out or starting a fight in the pits. And if you do that, you'll do it only one time with VCTS Racing, because you'll never do it again.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Well, Dan, I know you're very busy over there tonight making pizzas, so we don't want to keep you any longer. Really appreciate you taking the time this evening to be with us, and we're really looking forward to seeing you, Steve, and the whole group Saturday night.
Well, Rick, we're excited. I think it's going to be a great night. We've got a great field. You've got your regular locals like Ron Phipps and Larry Hughes that's over at Anderson all the time, and then we've got drivers coming in from the Speedrome like Junior LeMasters. We've got other local people like J.R. Vester from Muncie and Tom Bigelow's grandson, Thomas Bigelow, and Donnie Bigelow from Whitewater, Wisconsin, guys coming from Ohio like Greg Isabel. So, whether it's guys like Ryan Claiborne from Newcastle, we've got a great field of drivers, and I think that'll be really exciting for the fans, because it'll be all of your local drivers plus guys that's coming from 3-4 other different tracks and everything. So, yes, the place to be, as Denny Adams always says, is Anderson Speedway.
Well, Dan, you have a great night, and we'll look forward to seeing you Saturday.
Thanks, guys. See you Saturday.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Okay, bye-bye.
Dan Redmond, the principal of Vore's Compact Touring Series, and was I kidding? I mean, this guy he's for real, too. It's not all fluff.
He is.
We, real quickly, we're about out of time. But
we need to tell them what time we start Saturday.
We do. It's a special time. We open the front gates at 2, and we are racing at 5 this Saturday. It's starting to get late in the season, so we don't want to be too much past dark. So,
right.
2 o'clock front gates, 5 o'clock racing this Saturday.
3 big divisions, 300 laps of racing.
That's this Saturday night at Anderson Speedway.
Yes.
We traveled over to Winchester on Sunday and got to watch I forget what they said, what number was 43rd Winchester 400. A good race, several good drivers in the battle throughout most of the race.
Yes.
Scott Neal had a good car. Derek
Daniel
Hemrick. Ross Kenseth, and then of course Travis Baden and the eventual winner Eric Jones.
Oh boy, those last 20 laps
between
those
last
two.
20 laps, Eric was actually in second and got the lead, and Travis was right on his bumper. And what was it? Was it the white flag lap or 2 to go? Travis kind of put a bumper on him in turn 1 and 2, got around him, didn't turn him. And wouldn't you know, they get to turn 4. Eric returned the favor and got him sideways, but didn't wreck. And I mean, it was a battle to the finish. But congratulations to Eric. He's obviously he's won, I think,
back to back
2 truck races, 2 Winchester 400s in a row, 2 Camping World Truck Series races. He's raced some nationwide races.
And he's 17.
And he's only 17 years old, and a great great kid. So watch for, you're getting the opportunity to watch another star being coming through the ranks here with Eric. So
we've got to see a couple of those. Chase Elliott's another who's leading the Nationwide Series, and we've seen him in person many times around here.
And so. Ryan Blaney is right there
Ryan
too.
Blaney's another one.
This is pretty cool stuff going on. No different than back when Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth,
exactly
all these guys raced at Anderson Speedway. So we're watching history be made.
We are.
Real quickly, I don't have time to get on a big soapbox, but NASCAR issued their penalties from Saturday night. They ended up doing it to Brad Keselowski, who started the post-race stuff with his race car in the pits, and they penalized Tony Stewart also for after he got bumped through the melee. He was kind of an innocent victim, but he decided to take it in his own hands and backed over the back of Keselowski's car. When the race was over, Matt Kenseth said it well. He says, I had my helmet off, I had my Hans device off, and then I get whacked under caution. That's why
the people around.
That's why we are so insistent at the racetrack. You don't do anything under caution.
That's right.
It's a major, major deal. It wasn't major enough, in my opinion, what they did. What happened in the pits afterwards is just mainly just words and pretend. But, it takes a lot to fire up Matt Kenseth, so it must have been, I'm guessing it might have been justified, but not in front of the world.
And like you and I talked about the break here, they're living it up or playing it up now for this race at Talladega.
Yeah, and it's just somebody is going to get hurt if they don't do something. It's like NASCAR. Yeah, we got to do this just to make it look good. But, here's Tony Stewart after what he's been through and doing that under caution. And it's nothing but temper when that happens.
Right.
He's got, I can't think, and I know Tony and I usually defend him, but I don't know what else would prompt you to do that other than you're mad.
Right.
And who's to say that there wouldn't? And when Keselowski started all this and Hamlin was involved in it, there's officials. I've been to a couple races. They all stop at one spot so the officials can measure the spoilers. Who's to say there wouldn't have been an official there maybe between the cars or something? They don't think about anybody but themselves, and they're just rich, spoiled kids. And it's all about money. I'm afraid the money has driven their egos, and it takes good people and puts bad things in their mind, and they don't respect it. And it goes clear to the top of that organization. I'm not going to blame all the drivers and everything, because they're just doing what
the one word I keep saying all the time is greed.
Yeah. Yep. It's Brian France and greed, unfortunately. But that's my 2 cents worth. I'll probably hear from Mr. France.
Okay. Come and see us this Saturday, though.
This Saturday night.
Triple
100s. Gates open at 2, racing at 5. Don't miss it. We appreciate you spending the time with us this evening. Hi, Aunt Jenny. Hi, Libby and Louie. And we'll look forward to talking to you again next Tuesday, right here, same times. Well, that's next Tuesday here, but if you're on the other stations or on our internet, you can look at it anytime. Yeah. For Gary Mong, I'm Rick Dawson. Have a great week, and we'll see you at the Speedway Saturday night.